Hello, Viking Nation. This is Joseph Reese, your financial aid director, once again coming to you live on Facebook. We're here to answer any questions or concerns you may have. And believe it or not, it's almost time to start doing your FAFSA for next fall and spring, if you can actually believe that. I can't believe the time just flew by. Starting October 1st, we can begin filling out our FAFSA for the 2021-2022 school year. I can't even believe I'm saying those numbers. It's really crazy how time has flown by. And once again, I am joined by my financial aid outreach coordinator, Ms. Kayla Lopez.
Hi guys. So as Joseph mentioned, super excited. FAFSA does open tomorrow for the upcoming school year, which is the 2021-2022 year. And for that FAFSA application, you will be using 2019 tax information. So before we go ahead and skip to what's going on next year, for those of you who are currently enrolled in fall courses, or maybe you're enrolled in courses that will be starting in the next couple of weeks, if you have not yet completed your FAFSA, it is not too late. You will be completing the 2020-2021 FAFSA application for this current fall semester, as well as if you plan on attending courses in spring 2021 or any of the summer 2021 sessions. For that, you will be using 2018 tax information, and you can find the FAFSA at the same place as the FAFSA for next year, which is just going to be the FAFSA website. And I'll go ahead and share my screen here with you guys in a couple of minutes, just so I can just show you where to go and help you navigate to that. But I will go ahead and pass it back to Joseph with any updates or just more information for you guys for this current semester. So Joseph, take it away.
Thanks, Kayla. Yeah, so most definitely it's always a plus to get the fall semester started. We're so thankful we made it through another uh, difficult and hot summer, that's for sure. But definitely, just know that we're here. We're available to answer any of your questions. We are available in person. We have some virtual meetings that you can come in to the Harvin Center and also on the West Campus and the Coleman Center. If you have questions and you want to talk to somebody, we do have virtual front counter, basically, is what it is. You can come up, talk to someone. We can collect documents. We have drop-off areas where you can do that as well if you're lacking information that you need to submit for 2020, 2021. And also, we're providing we can answer your calls. We are available here from 7:30 to 5, and then we're virtually available from 7:30 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays, of course, we are available from 7:30 to 12:30, and then 7:30 to 1 virtually. So definitely don't hesitate if you have questions or you're worried about something or you need to speak to someone. You can call, you can email us, or if you'd rather see someone kind of in person but not really, kind of over a monitor, you can come in, and all the offices are represented. You have the registrars, financial aid, admissions, disability services. Everybody has someone that you can meet with over a monitor, and if necessary, we can provide additional information or direct you in the right direction. So definitely don't hesitate to come by. Of course, you'll come in, you'll sign into QList, which is our sign-in system. You put in your cell phone number. They'll send you a text message when it's your turn. So we try to make it as painless as possible when you're meeting with someone. But definitely don't hesitate to come by and ask us questions, or send us your questions via email or give us a call. And now I'll pass it back to Kayla.
Alrighty guys, so as I mentioned, I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you just so that you can get a look at that FAFSA website, know what to be expecting. So already you should be able to see it now. So this right here is where you are going to go to complete your FAFSA. Again, whether you are completing it for this fall or for the upcoming school year, you're going to do it right here in the same place. If you are doing your FAFSA for the first time, you will click Start Here. and then you will be able to create an FSA ID and password for yourself. Now, every student does need to have their own FSA ID and password. So again, if this is going to be your first time doing a FAFSA, just make sure that you do go ahead and create one. It'll take you here, you click Get Started, and you can go ahead and complete the 7-step process of creating that ID. Now, if you are a returning student, you are just going to click Login. You already have an FSA ID and password, so you'll be able to input your information here and then go ahead and continue on with your FAFSA application. Again, this is going to be for students who are completing it for this current school year or 2021-2022 school year, and it will let you know what tax information is needed. But again, friendly reminder, 2018 is going to be the tax information, year 2018 tax information is going to be used for the 2021 FAFSA, and then 2019 tax information is going to be used for the 2021-2022 FAFSA application. And you can see there are also just different resources for you guys if you wanted to just learn a little bit more about financial aid, a bunch of different tools and resources here. And then, of course, our Del Mar College financial aid webpage. Easiest way to navigate to our page is by coming right here to the Viking Toolbox dropdown, clicking financial aid, and it will bring you here to this webpage that you see right now. It does have definitely some information about applying for aid, the different types of aid, eligibility, and the list goes on and on. Also, if you are needing to submit any forms, you can always click right here where it says Forms and Other Documents to view all the financial aid forms and get those printed out, completed, and sent back to us. Our contact information is available on each of the forms, as well as just on our general webpage, as well as our phone number. So, as Joseph said, we are open, we are here via phone, we are here virtually to assist you guys, so hopefully you're able to reach out to us and get those questions answered if you do have any questions. Another thing to show you really quick, we do also have this FAFSA guide that we will be adding to our webpage pretty shortly, and let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys again so that you can go ahead and see that. And okay, so you should now be able to see this guide. So we don't have it currently posted on our webpage just yet, but we are working on it, and so it should be posted, I would say, by the end of this week, if not definitely by next week. And this is just a little FAFSA guide to help you guys prepare for whenever you do sit down to complete that FAFSA application. So if you are creating your FSA ID for the first time, you can definitely use this area right here to make sure that you write down all your information so that you can keep it with you and make sure that you have everything written down so you don't forget it, because again, you will need this FSA ID for every single year that you complete a FAFSA. And then down here, you can also see what documents are going to be needed to complete your application and make sure that you have those all gathered and together before sitting down and starting. And then it does also give you that reminder for what year's tax information is needed, as well as our office contact information below. So again, doing what we can. I know that virtually doing everything virtually is definitely different for you guys as well as for us. So we're going to keep making all of the different adjustments and accommodations that we can to make it just easier for you. Also, I know if any of you guys have ever attended one of the FAFSA workshops that we host here on campus, we are not going to be doing that this semester since we're not going to have any in-person events. However, we are going to, and when I say we, myself and maybe a couple other representatives are going to be hosting financial aid workshops that we will be able to do virtually. And so you can definitely check the events calendar on Del Mar's page for those. Once those dates get determined and posted, we will also be posting them on our website so that you could go ahead and schedule an appointment in advance if you want to meet one-on-one with somebody and get assistance with completing that FAFSA. So again, just doing everything that we can to just make sure that you guys are getting that help and getting those questions answered in the case that you have any, especially during this time. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Joseph.
Very good, Kayla. So now if I can share my screen, I wanted to direct your attention to another option here. I'm hoping y'all can see the financial literacy section that I'm looking at as well on your side. So this is a new feature that we've added to the financial aid website. It's filled with information, videos, budgeting tips. So financial aid is not just, here's money, we're awarding you, and then, you can, go about your business, which is fine, most definitely. But in case you were wondering, what could I do with this financial aid? Are there some tips? Is there anybody out there that can show me what to do, what not to do? Setting financial goals, personal goals, information about grants and scholarships, talking about needs versus wants. There's a big push for students to start making budgets. It's something that maybe used to be done in the past, but really doesn't get done as much anymore. But in order to make those dollars stretch and last long enough, it may be a good idea for you guys to create a budget. And once creating a budget, you know what your income sources are, you know what your needs are, and you know what your wants are. Of course, needs, everybody needs tuition, everybody needs books, everybody needs food to live, everybody needs, certain things that they have to have. But I want the latest iPhone, or I want the new PlayStation, but do I necessarily really need that to be able to continue my education? Sometimes putting that down on paper would really make a difference in determining how much and what monies you have to be able to make it through a semester. So it's definitely a good idea. Banking tips, there's so much information about borrowing, and we have embedded videos that's provided to us by the U.S. Department of Education, and we're able to use those videos in order to actually see, information about, okay, what's a subsidized loan? What's an unsubsidized loan? What does a plus loan mean? What are private loans? And then definitely when I do go into repayment, okay, what are things that I got to do? I mean, what things do I need to know about paying back my student loans? So I think having a plan with what I want to borrow, what I need to borrow, or if I never need to borrow. Luckily you attend Del Mar College, which is very affordable, and usually with your Pell Grants, maybe some state grants, you're able to cover all of your costs and still have a little bit of money left in order to live on. But sometimes that's not enough. You need a little bit more. So student loans are an option. We don't necessarily encourage student loans because we don't want you to have a whole bunch of debt. But if you really need something, please do your homework, study the different options about borrowing student loans, borrow smart, and also, budget your money so that way it can stretch it. You can stretch it out to the whole semester. But this is a new feature, a new tool. It has PowerPoints, it has videos, it has all different types of information for you to determine what is the best solution or the best option for you and with regards to financial literacy. So please, we encourage you to visit the website more often and go out there and look at the financial aid literacy section. It was just updated very recently, but definitely if you have questions about anything regarding financial aid, grants, loans, scholarships, budgeting, definitely we encourage you to do that. So with that, I will pass it back over to Kayla.
Alrighty, guys. So as mentioned, that is available on our website. And I'm not sure, I think Joseph went over how to locate it, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys again how to navigate to that, to those tools, because yeah, they're really awesome. And especially for those of you that may have taken out student loans before and you're maybe nearing graduation and you're thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do when graduation gets here? It also shows you the different types of repayment plans. It shows you how they work. And so you guys will be able to see that information as well. So here I'm back at the homepage for financial aid. You can come over here to financial aid literacy and workshops. Here it does, again, you can click on create a budget, and that's the link. It takes you to the Department of Education, the FSA page, where you can see how to create a budget and all the different things that go into that. You can also just use any of these other tools as well, looking over those loan repayment options on their website, as well as we do have some more, I guess, simplified terms for you guys here as well. So see financial aid literacy, go to repayment, and then it tells you everything kind of broken down into the different repayment plans that you guys may be eligible for. So a lot of different awesome resources that have been added to the page, as well as some videos. I know sometimes, reading it isn't exactly the same as hearing somebody speak about it. So we are offering both, so that hopefully both of those options can assist you guys in getting those questions answered. Alrighty, so again, to kind of just, I guess, recap on everything, let me go ahead and come back to our page. So down here, as always, just going over the contact information with you guys again. You can reach us by phone. If you need to submit any documents, you can submit them via fax. You can scan and email them into us. We do have our virtual hours where you can come in, and we have this really nice little financial aid mailbox by our computer where you'll be virtually meeting with somebody and you can drop in your documents there. So we can also accept your documents in person, as well as if you want to mail them to us. Either of those options is fine. Whatever it takes, or however you want to send it to us, whatever is easier for you works great. In addition, we do have our financial aid email address right here. That is being monitored pretty much always throughout the day, and we are doing a really good job of keeping up with those emails and making sure that students are getting a response, if not that same day, then definitely by the following day. So just in case maybe you have a crazy work schedule that is outside of our regular office hours and you still wanted to get that question asked, feel free to send us an email so that we can respond to you and hopefully get you that assistance via email. You can also check our social media pages for updates. I know they've been posting about when financial aid opens, and also like just the information that's needed for your financial aid. So definitely make sure that you're staying up to date with our social media pages as well, just in case any other information becomes available or any just new things that we're trying to notify students about. In addition to sending out emails, we will definitely be posting it on those social media pages so that you guys can just stay aware. And then, yeah, back to the Fafsa application. Again, guys, this is going to be what that page looks like. I know right now more than ever there is so many like just fake pages going around, or just wrong information, maybe leading you to something that says fafsa.com or studentaid.com / whatever. I mean, I've seen a lot of pages myself and just like kind of surfing the internet. And so make sure that this is the page that you guys are going to, that it does end in .gov, so that it is the actual federal student aid website. You don't ever have to pay for anything when it comes to financial aid. Doing the Fafsa application is free, so it will not ask you for your credit card information or for you to enter like your routing number, nothing like that. It's all just going to be free for you guys to complete, so that we can in turn get your Fafsa application and then get you awarded that financial aid. So I think that was all of the updates that I had. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in with us. If you have any questions that we can assist you with, definitely type it out right now and we can have those questions routed to us so that we can answer that for you. But hopefully you guys are staying safe. And don't forget, Fafsa does open tomorrow. The sooner you get your application done, the better. So hopefully you get to it. With that, I will pass it back to Joseph.
Thank you, Kayla. And just like Kayla mentioned, it was really important for you, for all Del Mar students, both current and prospective students, whoever's out there watching us right now, is to get your FAFSA in as early as you can. It's so important to submit those applications because sometimes it's a process. If it's a FAFSA that you submit and there's no need for additional checks and balances, it could be that you may be awarded as early as end of February, maybe even first part of March, something like that. You actually have an award letter to determine what you need to do, what you're lacking, what you're missing. But if you submit the FAFSA application and we need additional documents, that's where the recommendation of applying early comes in. It's so important. We're still getting calls even today of students that, well, hey, I haven't been awarded financial aid. What's going on? It's already September. Well, you needed to submit some additional documents. You've been selected for a review process called verification. Oh, well, I wasn't aware of that. Well, do you know that within 3 to 4 days after submitting the Fafsa application, you'll actually get an email from the U.S. Department of Education where you can link to your student aid report, and they'll actually show you that you've been selected for a review process called verification. So definitely, just like Kayla mentioned, get your Fafsa in early so we can collect any additional documents that you may have. It looks like we got a question coming over the wire here. It says, if you are on financial aid warning and your school, with your school, can you still apply? Warning is okay. Typically, warning is like a heads up, letting students know that you need to buckle down and do your best to pass your classes or complete your coursework, because you need to do well this semester. So more than likely, if you're on a warning status in this fall, means you really got to push it this fall. Do your best in your classes, because you need to improve on your grade point average. You need to increase your completion rates. So here at Del Mar College, you must, in order to maintain satisfactory academic progress, you have to have a 2.0. You have to complete 67% of the classes that you attempt. What does that mean? So if you take 12 hours a semester, you have to successfully complete at least 18 of those hours out of those 24 with a 2.0 or better in order to maintain satisfactory academic progress. So it's not necessarily a rule that Del Mar has. The federal government requires us to monitor that the investment that they're making in you with financial aid is actually going toward a successful degree completion, so that you can get out, pay taxes, and maybe then bring in more financial aid for your children and your children's children, things like that. So it's basically the government checking in on their investment, which is you. And there's nobody better to invest in than students here at Del Mar College and any college student. So yes, can you get financial aid if you're on warning status? Yes. When you're on suspension, then it may take a little bit of work. Sometimes you can, submit a satisfactory academic progress appeal application. So you submit that along with extenuating circumstance documentation and explanation of what happened, why you were unable to complete your coursework or complete it successfully, and then provide with us, proof. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks and I couldn't keep up with my classes. So, here's the information of my hospital stay. Oh, okay, well then that's should be sufficient enough for you to be able to get an appeal. And then we work you back to successful completion rate or successful grade point average semester by semester. So definitely you don't want to get on suspension, but if you do, there are options. You just have to work a little bit, submit an application, a satisfactory academic progress application, an explanation, and also documentation. And then there is a section that requires some information from your academic advisor, because they're going to help us determine what classes you need. So we're going to make sure you register for those classes and then check you out every semester. We're going to run a SAP calculation at the end of every semester in order to make sure you're getting back on track. So definitely, just to recap, like Kayla mentioned, it's really important for you guys to get that Fafsa in early. We can't stress enough, the longer you wait. Can you still get financial aid? Absolutely. I mean, there's really never an absolute, except, June 30th is like the D-Day to get financial aid for the prior academic year. But you can always submit your FAFSA, but like Kayla mentioned, if you get it in early, then you're able to take advantage of maybe some of the limited state grant opportunities. Pell Grant's an entitlement, and if you qualify, you're going to get it. That money never runs out. But there's so many other options, like Texas Public Education Grant, SEOG, Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, TEOG, Texas Education Opportunity Grant. There's limited funding. So that's why we encourage you to get your FAFSA in, and how we award students is on a first come, first served basis with those particular grants. So, like Kayla also mentioned, please stay safe out there. We definitely miss our students on campus, but, hopefully once everything gets back to normal, we will have you and be able to, see you and interact with you soon. So with that, I don't know if Kayla has any closing words, or if we are done. Okay, so definitely, once again, as your director in the financial aid office, we'd like you to just remember that we're here to serve our students in any way we can. We also want to encourage you, if you are a current Del Mar student, the scholarship application, I'm sure, for next fall and spring is going to be opening up soon, usually after October. So kind of, be on the lookout for that, but we'll send out emails, we'll send out notices. We'll also post that information on all social media pages. So it's so important for you to just, try to stay in the know. And right now, even more so, stick to social media, because that's the most convenient way that we have to communicate with our students. We also are in the process of working out a text message feature. So you might start getting little text messages here from the financial aid office. So don't disregard, definitely it's going to be us just kind of, we'll never ask you for information in those text messages. We're just going to give you information, give you hints of what's to come, what you may need to be doing. If there's a tuition deadline, if there's, a scholarship application opening up, we're going to send you notices so that way you're aware of what's happening. So whatever we can do to help, we have different modes of communication, how you can get information to us. Like Kayla mentioned, you can come in person, drop it off at a mailbox. You can scan an email, you can fax, you can send your email messages to financialaid@delmar.edu. So again, we encourage you to visit our website. There's a lot of new features on there that we're trying to get information out to students. So whatever we can do to assist you now and in the future, please don't hesitate to contact our office. And, thank you once again for spending some time with us, and we look forward to serving our students in the future. Take care. Be safe out there.